and I'm going hard on all cylinders, firing
As am I.
hard
As
on
am I.
all cylinders.
Firing hard, yeah. You had a big weekend, huh?
Huge weekend here.
Looked like a lot of fun.
I had a really nice time. Was fortunate enough this weekend to be invited to a mutual friend of mine and Johnny's, someone who really actually kind of changed my life.
Yet I was not invited.
Well, there was some notable absentees.
I'm just kidding around.
I won't let it affect my performance.
I think you
It does disturb me.
Well, the groom, you go back, way back, with,
dude.
I believe.
Way back.
Whereas he's sort of more of a recent friend of mine.
You want to talk
And
about
the bride
wedding a
I've
little
known
bit?
quite some time, but
Yes.
And
by golly, did she look gorgeous.
Oh, wow.
Stunning. They're a stunning couple, but, Anita, one of the most beautiful brides I've ever seen, exquisite dress that you would expect from someone of her fashion ranking,
sure.
She's...
She's well, I wish them all the best. I followed along on Instagram, and it looked like a lovely weekend.
Really, for me, the whole weekend culminated in Stranglehold Mike.
Yeah. Well, let's hear this.
So, there was a couple of old guard friends at the.
I saw a photo of you.
Yeah, well,
Mike
I'm gonna
and
probably.
Ben.
Oh no, that's great. And me, Mike, and Ben were hanging out.
No,
That
it just standing together. I got a little teary-eyed.
Yeah, that was a good time.
Yeah. Okay.
No, there was a situation where an old friend of mine and friend of obviously Ryan's too, Moppy was there. Mike Payette. He used to be in Pride Tiger.
I know him well.
Yeah, kind of a Thin Lizzy style band, amongst others. More of the kind of like old guard hard rock in Vancouver that we kind of came into, but certainly were not part of.
Kind of a hard rocking guy that kind of turned and then opened a coffee shop for a while, didn't he?
Hey, listen, he did, yeah. I mean,
Did a lot of different things.
Mike's always been an amazing guy. I'm going to call him Moppy because that's what we call him.
Yeah, well, and because Mike is the other
guy,
character in this
Stranglehold.
story.
Yeah.
So Stranglehold.
I mean, I could do a podcast on the way in which a lot of these people have actually changed my life for the better. Because there's no doubt in my mind that I would not be living in this country if it wasn't for someone like Ryan Peters or the benevolence of people and friendship that I was offered by people like Moppy in the early years of me living here. But one thing I do know about Moppy is after a few beers, I mean, he's ready to go. He can party like the best of them, and Mike too. And there's a certain
Stranglehold,
echelon,
you mean?
Stranglehold. There's a certain echelon of partying that we don't really get to, which involves shows of masculinity.
Sure.
And Moppy, I've never seen that guy lose an arm wrestle in my life.
Oh,
and
boy.
I knew. I'm talking kind of, when Stranglehold Mike gets kind of MAGA, it's about it's about 92 Coors Light in,
Yeah, sure.
I just kind of
I know it well.
I just sort of thought at that moment, you know what? Let's see if he fancies arm wrestling this guy.
You set this up?
Yeah, so we went outside. The only place we could find that was lit, they had to lie down to arm wrestle. There was no table, and the only place that was lit was kind of near the garbage out the back of the hall. So we got out there, and I think I've got it filmed. I know Ben Frey filmed it too because he came out because it felt monumental.
And you guys just threw on some ZZ Top. And
And they
let
just
them go
went
at
at it. Boys will be boys.
And?
Listen, I'm not. Gentleman never tells.
Oh, come on.
I mean, I'm gonna have to review the tapes.
Okay.
It was inconclusive.
There was no clear winner? They just kind of held there?
Listen, I'll send you the video.
Okay.
You can determine based on what's going on. And I don't want to say, listen, I've played pool with Stranglehold.
Oh, no.
I know
He called some bogus rule thing?
I'm not saying anything.
Oh, boy.
I'm just saying it's probably worth watching the tapes.
Boy.
I had a great time. We all had a great time. And it was such a pleasure being invited. It was such a pleasure hanging out with Stranglehold for the day. And, ultimately, the idea of having a dry wedding between 3 and 5 after the ceremony and the start of dinner. It felt like a good idea until everyone was in the parking lot jonesing. So me, Mike, and Ben did what needed to be done. Established a perimeter and went straight to the liquor store, and we had a little bit of a kind of
Tailgate, sort
I
of.
think you call it a tailgate, yeah.
So let me get this straight. They had booze during the ceremony, but then between the ceremony
No.
and dinner. Oh,
They didn't want. It's a smart move. It's a smart play,
Yeah.
actually. Really,
Yeah.
they wanted people to be present. And no one said this. This is just kind of the vibe I got, to be present for the ceremony, and it was a beautiful ceremony. And then the traditional kind of time that people go, the bride and groom and the families go take photos and stuff. It was like there's refreshments,
oh yeah. Oh, I get you. Yeah,
but there was no booze, and that just with that kind of party crowd, it wasn't going to work.
oh, that's a rock and roll crowd right
It
there.
was pretty rock and roll.
Yeah.
So I feel very honored to have been invited, and thank you. I had a
I
great
saw
time.
some of the characters there.
I went through the email.
Ryan Beatty. I saw
Yeah.
Ashley Shadow.
100%.
I saw
Amber Weber was there.
Yeah, the guy from he's oh god, I feel bad. I can't remember his name. He's in Jiffy Marks with
Yeah, absolutely.
with-
Rock
with,
and roll
uh,
crowd.
with
yeah.
Josh Wells and
Yeah. And his partner as well, his wife. They've kind of been around. Jeff.
sure. Oh yeah. Jeff.
These aren't
Jeff.
these aren't people I know particularly, but they're kind of. I think when me and you were coming up in the scene,
Yeah,
they
slightly
were kind of
older.
the generation older.
Slightly older, yeah.
Yeah. So had Darcy there. Shout out to Darcy with a brand new
Well,
baby.
I assume he was the best man.
Yeah, absolutely.
no?
And it was
Yeah, of
gorgeous
course.
watching him and Ryan being emotional with each other in a way that only old friends can, which is like,
Sure.
yeah. And of course the music was great. The music selection.
Was there a live band?
There was no live band. We're not kind of at Dudderidge, like later youth Joe level where you're bringing in, or even
Or
Ben Frey level, frankly.
Bringing in just your friends to play.
Well, I think Ben might have got the invite. I was thinking of reciprocal wedding invitations and stuff and how that works.
Right.
That's a way to get invited to weddings.
Mm-hmm.
Invite everyone to your wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you sort of have to invite the people who invited you, right?
I mean, Ben, this is a Wednesday, so he'll be listening. He's everyone's best friend.
Yeah, that's true.
He's unstoppable, that guy. I actually thought about it when we got into a circumstance. We got into the booze, the zero booze thing,
Uh-huh.
and people wanted it. And Ben, who's like literally the loveliest person on the planet. Like everyone loves him. There's nothing bad you could say about him. It's impossible.
For all our podcast listeners, we were
Yeah.
talking about Ben Frey, who was the drummer in my rock combo, the Shilohs.
Your beat combo,
Yeah. We're kind of a skiffle group from
and
Vancouver.
he's a fabulous beat combo from Vancouver.
yeah.
Ben Frey and the Shilohs.
Yeah.
But,
At one point, we toyed with calling it Ben Frey and the Shilohs, but
I mean, it probably would have been social media
would have been bigger, yeah.
bigger. But he was just cracking a beer. And I was just thinking, like, I'm nervous about doing this. I'm going to look like a degenerate being the guy to do it. But, like, old happy man having a great time cracking a beer. Everyone's like, great. Oh, we're allowed.
Like in the parking lot scene?
Yeah, just in the
I see.
parking lot. He just brought some beers with him.
It's
Good
great.
time Frey.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. Kind of, he's not really in the kind of bad boy club where like,
I'm in the degenerate club with Mike at these kind of things, I think.
and it's the kind of, Mike cracks one and it's kind of like, here we go.
Oh,
kinda,
here we
you know
go.
what I
Yeah,
mean?
but Ben does it, and you're kind of like, oh, it's Kaiser Sose. Like, no one notices.
Or it's just like, wow, I guess we're having a lovely time.
We're having a good time. Paul Simon's here.
Yeah,
cracking a beer.
exactly. Wow,
Mike
cool.
does it.
Paul
It's like
Simon likes beer.
Mike does.
That's
yeah.
neat.
Neat. That's cool.
That's
Mike
neat
does it,
that
and you're
Ben-
like, Nugent is on his way.
Yeah, you're just
2 hours
like-
later, you're talking about like I don't even know, like monkeypox, and like we're listening to like a long wave radio. It's complicated.
You're on a boat somehow.
Somehow,
Found
that
about-
story came up.
Which one?
I think it's the story about you guys like finding him at 6 a.m. on between
man.
a couple of boats on tour.
That's an
and I think
absolute
he thought it
classic.
was Ben who was on the boat. I don't think he
Oh,
remembered it
please.
was him.
That could only be him.
Yeah, I know.
That is an absolute classic for another time. I may have already told it.
It may be, but yeah.
But,
what a dream it was that he was there. for me
Well,
personally.
I'm sorry I missed it, but I'm glad you guys had a great time, and here we are back on Impossible Way of Life.
Yeah, I had
the life of a podcaster never ends.
Well, it
or the
might,
job.
if we
a
decide
job
we
never.
can't be fucked doing it anymore.
What am I
we're
trying
not
to
getting
say?
enough money.
Yeah, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Or the job of a podcaster never ends.
I mean, I literally think let's get to 200 and assess that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Based on I wanted another shout out. We had a Deacon Blue. Shout out to patron Deacon Blue, who upped his
Great
pledge.
name, by the way.
Yeah, of course. Upped his pledge. We're actually only $150 away from our second Patreon goal, which will mean that we'll have to go to Abbey Road Studio C and record an episode there.
Well, I'd like to do. Have we actually looked at how much that costs for real?
It's going to cost like the same as a month, I think. I mean, we'll get the flights.
Yeah. So it is whatever, Oh, it does.
I bet it's $1,000 for a day.
Yeah. Well, I am definitely into that. Does it say Abbey Road or Ocean Way? Or does
Maybe,
it?
I
I think
can't
it might
remember. It's
just
so
say
long
Abbey
ago.
Road. So I think we have to do Abbey Road. Quite frankly,
I do Ocean Way though for sure. I mean, I can do both of those technically on my computer with impulse response.
And nobody would know.
Do you think they'll know if we do it?
Well, we'd have to document it.
We'd have to take photos.
I think I'd like to do that one. Get Vom and Joe Dutteridge in there.
100%. Yeah,
Maybe set up
we
some
could
gear,
record
put
a
some songs
song
together,
Yeah,
do a little tune, do a
mean, we
Beatles cover.
we could do that. That would be on point.
Yeah,
I'm sure
Like a
everyone
kinda-
would love to hear that.
kind of an earlier. Do like we said our goodbye, and then the three of you the night before. You know what I mean? Something like that.
We're pretty close to being at that one. So if anyone wants to donate, or actually not donate, pay us $5 a month for the privilege of you get the free episode on Wednesdays where we're kind of like riffing, Sunday's more of the kind of beautiful mind, smile energy where we've really kind of gone to town to figure out all these cross-pollinations.
Yeah.
I got a couple of things that we're going to talk about this Sunday I'm getting psyched about. Don't
Right.
have much. It's just a kind of an inkling I have where we talk about, these things, they're hiding in plain sight, Johnny.
Yeah, I know.
I was thinking, what the fuck is the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Really? When it comes down to it, we talk about it. People are getting inducted, but and there's scandals about people who haven't been in it. Who's in it? Who's not? Why is
votes?
Clapton in it 3 times? Exactly. Who
Is it
watches
like?
the
Is it
Watchmen?
like a? Is
Who
it
set
like,
it up?
Yeah. Is it Is it like the Oscars where everybody votes?
Or
Like
is
the
it just
Academy?
6 people?
Yeah,
who are
or
the
is it just
is it like
like-
Elliot Rodgers?
More like
Elliot
the
Roberts,
Grammys where you
Armand
just buy.
Gunn. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you just buy a spot.
Who's the only person to be in it 3 times?
Dave Grohl.
Eric Clapton. It's
Oh.
the same energy though.
Yeah.
Like these guys are buying themselves in. He's probably in it. He's in it twice.
And on top of all that, it's in Cleveland. What's that all about?
The Mistake on the Lake. Believeland.
Man, you know what I was
LeBron.
you know what I was thinking about? I want to talk a lot about this Rock and Roll Hall of Fame thing because you're absolutely right. But I just want to say that I was thinking about like blues.
Dude, sometimes I think about blues.
I was just
and it's
thinking about
really
blues
crazy.
the other day.
It's crazy when you get into that kind of twisted place.
Yeah, and I was listening to like Sonny Terry and Brownie McGee, like real blues guys.
Yeah.
Who like played with everybody. Like
Oh, yeah.
like every single great blues artist, they played with them. And there's this song on the album, it's really good, called White Boy Lost in the Blues. It's super
Amazing.
good. And he's like, they're talking about it's this great song that is like, you got a 6-string Gibson, you got a big old amp. Like you try to sing like Muddy Waters, play like Lightning Hopkins or whatever. But since I blow my harp, you're looking mean and confused.
Amazing.
And we got you chained to your earphones. You're just a white boy lost in the blues. It's so good.
That's
And I was
great.
thinking about it, and I was like, listen to these fucking guys play, and I was like, in what demented dimension
Yes.
can somebody say Eric Clapton is the best at blues?
Of course.
Like, in what world? And it's like all these people that are like, he's probably the best at
Yeah,
blues.
we
And
live
if
in a
it's not
Twilight
him,
Zone.
it's Stevie Ray Vaughan.
It's
You know what I-
close. Stevie Ray Vaughan's kind of he's the heir apparent. And then Mayer.
And then and I'm like, literally
hate
anybody
crime.
on this record I was listening to, like the drummer could probably play blues guitar better than Eric Clapton. You know,
Yeah.
have more like a bluesy vibe or something.
I mean, I could look it up now, but my like kind of conspiratorial or like I suppose negative view of human nature. Well, I'm quite optimistic actually, but
Starts and ends there for me.
I would assume that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was started by like David Geffen or someone,
Yeah.
to cement like an official rock and roll. That,
And
like,
to sort of prop up white blues.
yeah,
too.
of course. Well, I was going to say,
Yeah.
and it's just white music in general, and it's going to
Yeah.
supplant. It's
It's
going
true.
to. It's going to supplant. Like it's going to. Well, basically, it's going to start with the Rock and Roll Heaven guys. You know,
Yeah.
like it's like so. It's that narrative's first, and then it's like let's get like all of our acts from the '60s in, like.
Yeah.
Real quick, hey, listen, we'll get dead black guys in. Like it's fine. Like we'll say there's a Janus. Everyone knows that blues is this thing. Rock and roll comes from it. But
Yeah.
you know, like this is, and I literally no research done here. My assumption
none.
is that it was started in maybe earliest the 50s, latest the 70s.
Oh, no way the 50s.
Maybe even the
I'm
70s.
going like 75.
Yeah, like, and first guy in is Nugent
Elvis.
or something. Well, not even, I think. Like, he's in as, I think it's going to be like people from the time, and then they're like, there's probably criticism, and they're like, okay, look, Berry Gordy wants people in here.
Well, no. See, this is why I think it's like kind of a weird racist sort of thing is that they don't consider that rock and roll.
Right.
There's always a thing that they don't induct soul singers and
Yeah.
people like
or
that.
country
Like some
can
do.
be, though, a bit.
A bit. Country's
Yeah,
okay.
country's kinda in,
Because
yeah.
they like play guitar and
Or
sing or
something,
something.
yeah.
But it's like, even though like rock and roll is like Fats Domino, Little Richard,
Who
like those
is-
guys are probably in. But
They're
anybody who even skewed a little more like into R&B soul, like maybe not. Again, no research whatsoever
No,
done
who's
here.
that? Well, and this is going to be Sunday. Who's
Yeah.
that weird, like, kind of Krang guy who's like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame guy? Is that the same thing, or has he started his own Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
You mean Phil Spector?
No, he's this weird guy who's always interviewing people about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but he just might have
Oh,
his
that
own
guy. He looks like
online one.
Krang, yeah.
Yeah, he looks like Krang. Phil Spector also looks like Krang.
He does a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Who's that guy?
I don't know. I really don't know.
What is going on?
Should we look up like when it was formed and who the
I
first
kind of
like
want to
10
do it.
on Sunday?
I kind of want everyone listening to like do their own research and then listen to us be shocked on Sunday because it's gonna
Yeah.
be fucked. It has to be.
I don't know anything about it. All I
At
know,
all.
as you know, is Harry Nilsson is not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which to me is appalling. But I'm
Quite
sure there's
frankly,
other
it's appalling.
people who are not. Like if Dave Grohl's in twice and Harry's not in once, something's going wrong.
Nice shout out here to let me see. I wrote a couple of things down here. Where are they? Because I'm fired up on our
When does
our
that Johnny
Patreons.
Depp song come out that he wrote about the trial?
We'll get to that. That's like bullet point 3.
Yeah,
on
I'm
this,
just
yeah.
curious what the
I think it
release
might
date.
actually be next week, so we can't listen to it, but we can go over it. I forget the guy's name. He's a really good guy, and he's a really good patron. Lucas, I think his name is. I can look it up right now.
Mm-hmm.
But he was sort of suggesting, and I think I'm going to look it up because I don't want to get it wrong. Yeah, Lucas.
By the way, that's massive. Those of you who, like, when we're talking about, join our Patreon, everything, people who just like up their pledge.
Yeah,
That's a big move.
Well, listen, I mean, the purge is on its way. Mussolini from the balcony. This is like, listen, it's happening. This is like Easter in the Baltics. It's coming. I'm gonna find a way It's happening.
Right.
Weeks left to just kick all the freeloaders out. I don't even, you know what? I was concerned at one point that people might think I was a kind of Lars Ulrich type,
Yeah, you were.
you know, suing makeup companies for trademarking the color Metallica, you know, or, you know, a kind of like, or a Don Henley, you know, was people were worried that that I've got a couple of girls ODing in my bathtub and I'm still kind of like on Instagram deciding who's using my tunes.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm with him on this one, and it's coming. You know, one day a great rain is going to come and clean up these streets. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what'll
Taxi
happen?
driver style.
But take me through this. So what'll happen exactly? You'll wipe the slate clean.
So
and then
to speak,
all the real
I'm going to Mandalay Bay style.
yeah, and then all the real patrons
They're fine.
will
Nothing's
get a
gonna
new
happen.
code, and
No,
they'll just
no, I don't even think it's that. Patreon has figured a way out. What I need to do is change hosting platforms, and the people who are actual patrons, like it does it all automatically.
But how do you know? How does the thing know if they're actual patrons? Because they have the code. Oh, I see. Because the code can only be used once or something.
Give me the codes.
I don't know how. I don't understand.
Listen,
this.
I don't know either, but it's a suggestion. It's doable, and it's happening.
Okay.
You know, Martin Scarelli, if you want to buy like Wu-Tang style the RSS feed for $4 million and send it to space, I know he's out of jail. We're here for it because all I'm trying to do is pay my rent and make this a viable career for me.
100%.
Yeah.
Fast forward 2 weeks, we've got 0 patrons.
No, it's growing. This kind of attitude
No,
is
but
only
once
making
we
it
do,
grow.
oh, I see. People respect that, right?
I think you know what? It's kind of a 48 laws of power style dynamic.
Right.
People respect me.
Right.
Imagine that.
They're like
This guy means business,
Thought those
honestly.
guys were like a couple of wusses. You know what I mean? But
You
it's
know
like-
what? Yeah, it's like Hall and Oates.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
but
they were just
they're kind of
jocks.
They
They have
got
kind
some
of-
balls.
They've got kind of hustler
James and
energy.
Johnny kind of have some balls. I didn't think
Yeah.
they did, but
You know what?
yeah.
I'm paying them more.
Yeah, I'm gonna pay him. I
Yeah.
respect that.
I respect that in a man.
Yeah.
I see it in myself.
Oh my god.
Hey, listen. I just wanted to say Lucas brings up a good point.
Uh huh.
If Mike Love is the kind of MAGA and origin of music in America, who is the sort of rock and roll DNC kind of NPR like modern Democrat? And he suggests it could be Dave Grohl.
No way, because as you and I both know, you've told me behind the scenes he's a real.
What do you
You
think Hillary's like behind the
not a-
scenes, man?
Well, I suppose that's true.
You know, Benghazi and all that.
No, it's got to be someone of the era.
Of the era, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably McCartney.
Possibly.
I mean,
Vegetarian.
he's the one. Yeah, he's the good guy in
Yeah.
music right now. Everybody loves him.
Yeah.
He's still doing his thing. You know. Yeah, probably. But
And
it's
then-
pretty hard to get even on the hero level where Mike Love is on the villain level.
It's pretty hard, but always like, you know, the baddies are always
Yeah,
much
I'll think
more-
about that though because I think
Yeah.
there may be a better answer.
kind of light v dark.
Yeah,
Who's he
it's definitely
battling?
not Bob Dylan.
It's
after
not
this
Brian.
like $1.5 million version of Blowing in the
Can
Wind.
we talk a little bit about that? For
I
people
mean-
who don't know.
I mean, so Bob Dylan, I guess, recorded a new version of Blowing in the Wind
Yeah.
that was cut, like the lacquer was cut and put in like a crazy,
Well, it's what's his name's?
yeah, T-Bone Burnett's like, but then
His
it's like,
bespoke insult to music.
yeah, and it's in this shrine thing. There's only one ever made, kind of a Jack White move.
Yeah.
And they're auctioning it off for $1.5 million.
It's always been sold.
Yeah, and everybody's pretty up in arms because it kind of goes against everything that the song stands for.
Yeah.
And of all the songs, why do that? Beyond that, why do you need money? It's a weird kind of capitalist move from a guy who, you know, certainly that song is
probably
speaking
done
out
okay.
against those certain things. And he just sold his catalog for $300 million.
Yeah.
So, but then I thought about it, and you know what this is?
It's pure
This
grift. Sorry, go on, yeah.
sounds like, to me, like these artists, dude. This is what I'm thinking. We talk a lot of shit and like call these guys out on stuff.
Yeah.
But you think about this. They've got a team of people who are like our age.
Yeah.
And they're like standing around and they're like, hey, like they're telling Bob Dylan's manager, not even him, they're like, it'd be really cool if like Bob re-recorded Blowing in the Wind like 65 years later.
Yeah.
And then like we like made it all nice in T-Bone Burnett's like,
Ionic original.
Yeah. And they're like, this will be great. Everyone will love it. And his manager tells Bob, and Bob's like, okay, sure. Like, I'll just do it. Whatever
It'll take
you
me
say.
2 minutes.
He doesn't even think about it. It's not like he's like brainstorming this shit. Like,
But you would
there's
expect
no
a
way.
little bit more from Bob because he kind of is business acumen 10.
It's true. It's
you would,
true.
he knows. Like, and even if he's kind of like, I don't find anything. I don't find anything kind of sad about hoodwinking millionaires out of their wealth. Like that's
No.
kind of funny. But
Well,
like
yeah.
it's kind of, and also you make a good point with the Jack White thing because like vinyl fetishism, it has been like a thing certainly for the last kind of 10 years that people, businessmen, CEOs, hustler lifestyle guys like Jack White, 4 men and with beards, like there's been like kind of people working on like the last remnants of people who are longing for something to hold in their hands. And
Well, yeah.
when it comes to wealthy people, the artifact is everything,
Yeah, and I think that's like a big market for vinyl, retailers.
Yes.
Is like people with money who are older and want fancy new pressings of things.
And I guess that the only thing that's sad, well, the things that are serious about it, I guess, are like the fact that it like, and this is what you were saying prior, is it ignores like the very spirit of what popular music is, which is like for everybody.
And of all the songs to choose to do that with,
It's evil villain mentality stuff.
That's the wrong one to pick of pretty much any song in history.
If you take one of history's, no doubt in my mind, greatest songs and let only one person hear it, it's like a crazy reversal of what should really be happening, especially as that song is like famous for galvanizing change,
and
for the better.
And raising questions that still need to be answered in our
course.
society. It's still relevant. So
I'd like to know how much T-Bone made personally
exactly.
from coming up. You know what? Like, can you imagine conceptually, like, it is pure grift. Like, if someone's like, no, it's real. It's like you're like going into a place. It's kind of like the gold-plated cables you get in Long and McQuaid.
Yeah.
And it's only been about 2 weeks since he pretended that this thing was real.
Well, and it's like Alex was saying last night that she went and saw Elton John a couple years ago,
Right
and
on.
he had these screens behind him with like these like films they'd made to do with his songs, like about the lyrics. It'd be whatever, Daniel is traveling, and there'd be like a little scene of a guy getting on a plane and flying away. And that just seems like a kind of thing that somebody was like, this is what people want. They're not going to be able to hold their attention to the music.
Yeah.
So we have to stimulate them with something
Sure.
behind you. And Alex was like, it was so bad and seems so much like a TikTok, like Netflix style idea.
Yeah.
And the thing is younger people like who are doing these kind of promo campaigns and things that it's clearly like millennials like calling the shots on this stuff.
I don't know. I know what you mean.
But they don't get that even people our age want to see Elton John in the same way as he would have been in the 70s or 80s,
That's an
probably.
interesting point. Perhaps.
Like that's what would be the spectacle to us.
I don't mind like I don't mind encountering inauthenticity in like visuals when seeing like a great. I could probably look past it. Going back to the blowing in the wind thing, it is like ultra evil villain, like to make something like the fetish object of millionaires, which like ultimately completely reinforces the song's point about how doomed we are
Yeah.
to inequality. Like, like that we can't do anything about it. So much so that someone has bought the very song that gives us hope in that,
Yep. Yep. If there was ever a nail in the coffin, that's it,
A nail in the Jerry coffin,
Right.
He's
He's probably in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
He's probably there, yeah. Speaking of which, we were going to do, and I'm excited to, rank Carole King.
Yeah, we're not. We're going to have our mutual friend Stacy on for that.
And, extremely talented and successful musician, impresario, and all-around bad girl of rock and roll.
Well, certainly, you didn't, I thought that goes without saying, but
Yeah.
well, I'll hype her up once she's on here. You know what I mean? I like to
100%.
surprise the people.
I'm
We've also got a
hoping she
very
comes
special
on
guest.
DMT video outfit. That's what I'm hoping.
That's a great video. Wow.
Sorry. To
We've also got another very special guest this Friday, Paige Stark. Also, extremely talented producer, singer, director, and
entrepreneur.
You name it, actress.
Okay.
So that's gonna be good.
That's going to be so that'll come out.
That's going to be next Wednesday's episode,
probably. Yeah.
and then.
But we might buff them up a bit now because I'm thinking we just get those on Wednesdays, Sundays. Sunday we're doing Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Well, Sunday I just like to do this slice of life vibe.
Well, I'm looking forward.
Even though
to
this is Wednesday, but
I'm looking forward to you coming to town, man. Let me tell you.
Oh yeah, I tried to get Bleecker on today, and well, let's just say he's got better things to do.
I just want him to know that Yukon Blonde are coming right up his ass on Spotify. We're sitting at. We're sitting. Oh, also, actually, talking of Spotify, shout out to Sounds Abound, another great patron. Said something we didn't talk about, and I think this is a great way to kind of like great segue into you plugging your show coming up.
Right,
there's a phenomenal Mapache cover of All I Want to Do. While we were speaking about the Beach Boys top 10
I didn't know that.
So I'm going to play it right now.
Oh, right. Yeah, I forgot they did it.
How's the volume for you?
Good.
Nice, man. Just chill out, man. Hey, it's groovy, man.
Is this on the one that came out last year, the covers one, with like a rainbow on the cover?
Yeah, it's on 3.
Yeah. They did this with Dan, all to tape, all live.
Twisted.
No screens.
Elton John's fans could learn a little bit about that, you know what I'm saying?
Beautiful. This record, the song on this one for me is they do a cover of It's All About Our Love by Sade that absolutely rips. When they do it live with drums and stuff, it's so good.
You want to talk a little bit about them playing live?
It's worth coming to the show. So I am playing. I'm gonna open the show. They're coming to Vancouver finally.
Huge news, if true.
With the band, Wise Hall, July 23rd.
I'm there.
It's gonna be them. They're watching them play rock and roll with their band is like it's. I would go as far as to say it's a very soothing and spiritual experience.
Nice.
Like you just feel a lot of joy when you watch them play.
I was going to go kind of the Graham Nash route with that, but I'm glad you made it earnest. So keep going.
And yeah, I've got a new band. I haven't played a show in Vancouver in 3 years.
Yeah.
It's going to be an amazing night, I think. So
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I've been waiting a long time to see Mapache, and I'm excited to see you play again.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm stoked. It's gonna be great.
Much like the wedding that you didn't get invited to, little bit disappointed I didn't make the cut in the band, but hey, listen, we can't all, sometimes people don't want kind of that, like, I suppose I would say like just adding a little punk kind of like ahead of the beat energy to something.
You do
that's,
have kind of that kind of like, that British edge.
Yeah,
to your music
sometimes
and
when
your
you're
sound.
trying to make more kind of, Cuban-inspired kind of.
I've put together a pretty like light, soft rock kind of combo.
Beat combo, nonetheless.
Mostly, quite I keep saying quite frankly, Luke will never let me live it down.
Listen, I like it that you say it.
I got it from you.
Well, I don't know if I say it. I think it's a Longmont thing, but I'm a big fan of whatever.
Yeah, I just had to kind of downsize to get. I had a 9-piece before.
Yeah,
I had to kind of downsize to get some of these gigs, but
inflation. That makes sense.
There's also, but we're gonna be recording together soon, buddy.
100%. When you want to do your kind of more like keyed up,
Yeah,
like kind
100%.
of Miami sound.
100%.
Like, yeah,
I need you
exactly.
for that.
Yeah, exactly.
I need you.
Well, I'm a man of many talents. Let me tell you.
I know that. I know you could do it all.
Hey, listen.
But hey,
I'm really excited to see the Mapache show with Johnny Payne. Even though we are an international podcast, a lot of our listeners are in Vancouver. So just once again, let's talk about the date there.
Saturday, July 23rd, Wise Hall, classic venue.
Amazing.
Sounds great if it's packed out, so come down.
Yeah, and one thing that you said in the past, because you're selfless like that, and you said this to me off air. I don't know if you've ever said it on air. You're always, in the past, you've been so sickened. I don't think you used the word sickened.
I'm
the
sickened.
lack of enthusiasm the Vancouver rock and roll purveyors community has, and when Mapache comes to town, you want to see more people there, basically.
Not there. I want to see them shut the fuck up. Is what I want to see.
Okay.
Because people come to the show, the last couple of times they played, let me tell you, they do 2 sets. They do an acoustic set and they do
Right.
an electric set. The acoustic set, they play with one microphone
Yeah.
between the two of them.
Yeah.
And so they play very intimate, very beautifully.
CSNY style.
Yeah, and
Like
sing very
Woodstock
beautifully.
CSN.
And the last couple of times, people would not be quiet. Like
Yeah.
it was really, and so I'm going to say something on the night too, but these guys make really, really special music, and we as a city should encourage these great groups to come back.
Yes.
And I think you and I both know if you have a really bad show and nobody's listening, you're not stoked to cross that border and do it again.
Yeah, I mean, my only question, because I agree with you entirely, do they have Elton John style TikTok video streams? Because maybe that's what
Nothing.
they need.
Well,
Maybe
no,
maybe then people would watch.
they're all about the music, So if you're
Also,
not into
listen,
that,
Yeah.
stay home.
Hey,
or
and it's
go
kind of
outside,
like,
have a smoke.
hey, listen,
and
we're
come back
gonna-
in when they start rocking.
What's the four-way street bit? Hey man, we're gonna play some acoustic songs, man. If you don't get the words, you won't get it. Like, what does he say?
It's something like that.
Yeah.
But the
You're gonna
other
have
thing
to
about
stay
them
quiet
is
to get the words, man.
they're also such chill. Oh yeah, they're also such chill dudes that they don't say anything.
No.
So if they're they'll just
Some would
kinda
say they're lost in the music.
they'll just stop playing and kind of cut it short or something if
Yeah.
it's a drag, kind of Cali style.
Yeah, I mean, and
If-
that's it. Can you imagine, Vancouver listeners, if because you'll do this. This is what, I'm from Manchester, right? Everyone pretends they were at the famous Sex Pistols show at the Free Trade Hall. Everyone pretends. Everyone's dad was there. Officially, there was only like 22 people there, but like, there's every musician ever has said they were there. The Buzzcocks were there. That's fine. New Order, Joy Division, Ian Curtis was there. This is like known shit, but everyone pretends they were there because it was such a galvanizing experience, and it made people believe.
Yeah.
Do you want? Because there's no doubt in my mind that if you go to that show and listen, you'll probably be right back to Commercial Drive first thing in the morning buying cowboy boots.
Well, I
But do
will
you want to
honestly
lie
say
about the fact that you were listening? That's all I'm
it will
saying.
be a special show.
I know.
Really,
I know
they're a
that.
band who are very much on the rise and are at the peak of their powers, and it's going to be one of those ones that our city is going to be very, very
Yeah.
impressed with them.
Make a night of it. I'll meet anyone who wants to go.
Yeah.
Downstairs at the Wise Lounge.
Oh,
if it
we're
still
all gonna be-
exists.
we're all
Oh
gonna
my
be
God.
there.
I'll be playing
We're
pool
all
down
gonna-
there.
Yeah. Oh, sure. They got a table down there?
Oh, they got a table.
Oh, watch out.
I'll
the
meet- you
drummer,
know what?
Steve Diddlow, he likes to shoot, dude. in
How
big
about a
way.
little kind of? How about I book us a table at Via Tavere?
Sure.
Get a
Sounds
little
great.
kind of get a little,
Yeah.
you know, a 10-piece like kind of table. Get some pizzas going, or we
Yeah.
could just or you know, I know it's like rough and ready when you're on the road. Maybe we just hit Joe's, just for a sandwich and a Stella.
Well, that suits Sam Blasucci very much.
That's
the
more
Italian.
kind of exactly. And we're
He's
kind
got
of
a
more in
real Goodfellas
Coppola-
energy.
Yeah, kind of a
he's
Coppola
big
style
time
vibe.
Goodfellas energy. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm really looking forward to it. Once again, just say the date.
It's Saturday, July 23rd. Saturday after
This
one.
Saturday. I'm
Yeah.
excited. I'm going to be there, and I expect to see everyone there.
Thanks,
and
James. Yeah.
honestly, a couple of fly-ins I'd like to see.
I think there's going to be lots of people there. I don't know. I know that Mapache are well loved, and I also know that, or I would hope that a lot of my friends will come out after I haven't played in so long. You know, I want to see everybody. So
I got my own shit coming up, but it
Yeah.
doesn't really need the same pumping because it's like built in. Like I'm playing Squamish this weekend, next weekend, or the weekend prior to your show, I think. Or
Nice.
maybe I'm playing there the night before. So on Friday, the 22nd,
That's right,
I'm
you are.
in Squamish playing a festival. But I think that like I'm not expecting anyone to come who's not already going because it's like, you know, this is $400. I don't even know what's going on with that. But you know,
who else is headlining?
I don't know. I don't know actually, really, but it's kind of it's kind of got a CanCon core element about
Love
it.
that.
Because we're still kind of working our ways back to opening that border up. But I will be taking it easy that night, along with my co-combatant Brandon Wolf Scott, who's playing in your band the
Yes.
night after. So the real party is
Saturday night.
Saturday night, because Saturday night's all right.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. We could talk about, we had a couple of ideas about ranking here. But
Well, I would love to rank somebody. I mean, I want to get
know.
back into it, man.
I just
What
want to tell
is
you
the
one
hesitation?
story. I just got one story.
Okay.
So I was away this weekend in Kelowna
Yeah.
for this wedding. And I was staying with Sophie, my young bride's brother. Amazing guy.
Right.
And, you know, Kelowna, for people who aren't from here, the Okanagan in general, you know, it has a little bit of kind of I don't know, I would say like, especially the closer you get to Alberta, like a little bit of that kind of like American, like, I don't want to besmirch it because I love it, but like a little bit of that Florida man energy.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of
that's a crazy documentary.
you know, and it has a little bit of that vibe. It's a little bit kind of like, you know, you see the red hats every now and then, a lot of big trucks. It's beautiful, though. It's an unbelievable place. So I'm out on Sunday, yesterday. I'm out on a boat on the lake.
Yeah.
And I'm boating with Sophie and her brother.
Turn up
and-
on the weekend, that kind of vibe.
Listen, yeah, and it's like it's a desert there, by the way, for people who aren't from there or know it. So it's like 35 degrees. I'm jumping in. We're taking these two like 7-year-olds tubing. Like they're going quicker than I would ever go on a tube, and they just don't give a fuck. They're like flipping. I'm scared that they're gonna die. Like, you know, but they're having the best time of their lives.
Sure.
It's great. So we're on this boat, and you know, there's a lot of kind of West Coast rap being played. West Side Connection, some Bay Area stuff, like more like kind of, I guess like we were listening to, it started there. Then you get that kind of like back down to like Dre energy, general
Sure.
Dre energy. And then lots of trap too, which
Okay.
it's more of a kind of like ATL thing, I guess. It's kind of like, so I'm there. But then the rock comes in.
Yeah.
Like it kind of switches because it pivots. And we're on this boat, and I'm drinking Coors. I'm having a great time. And Nickelback.
Light,
We're
Coors
talking
Original.
Light. We're talking Creed, Nickelback, Theory of a Dead Man.
Wow.
You know, some real classics. And Nickelback's Photograph came on, and I was watching this like girl, this like 10-year-old girl or something, like tubing, and the song is blasting out this boat. And I got to say, like, I was fucking into it, man. I was like, I get it. I was like, I get this. And I was sort of like, the lyrics made sense. I was like, I mean, I did graduate high school, but I was like, if I hadn't, and it's like, he's talking about like, maybe I should go back, you know, and try.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, if I was like a couple of Percocets deep in that situation, I would really, I got it like for the first time. I just wanted to say it live. Like I got it. And I was like, I get this music and I like it.
Right.
I was feeling it out there.
You sent me a video and you were listening to
Look
at this photograph.
And it made me think about that thing Luke said a while ago, that for a lot of people like Bon Jovi and Journey, like those are the biggest songs of all time, you know? And a lot of people photographed by Nickelback is like, it's the biggest one. It's like, it's everything. It's basically the sounds of silence, but for
probably their best song.
I'd say it's probably their best. So
yeah,
I just wanted to say it out loud that, you know, I felt something, and don't be ashamed if you felt the same way. No, not you. I know you haven't, but just in general, anyone listening.
Hey, you know, what specifically? You said Nickelback and Creed. Were there any other groups or
Stained?
Yeah, you know, I went through a phase.
Yeah, I mean,
I had a lot of friends who liked that stuff.
He was like writing lyrics in the videos and stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously, then it kind of goes Stone Temple Pilots.
Well, and now we're talking.
And then you start listening to this music, you realize, like, you know why Kurt killed himself. Like, you know he saw it coming. He was just like, I've really unleashed.
Created a monster, that kind of thing?
Some kind of monster.
Right.
Yeah. Metallica, not so much on these playlists. A little bit proggy, a little bit too demented.
Yeah, I think that's not emo enough, kind of.
Yeah.
Or something. I think that type of music, that type of playlist is a lot about nostalgia and stuff like that.
It is.
Whereas Metallica is a little more about anger.
Sure.
Photograph, you know, Stained. What was their big hit? It's been a while.
That was
since
a good one,
I could hold my head up high.
It's more kind of a rehab kind of song.
Introspective. It's thinking about your past.
Yeah.
Everything I can't remember.
100%.
It's heavy. Like it's fucking rocks.
It's heavy like Eminem though.
It fucking rocks.
Painful.
But it's chock full of pain and heart and emotion.
Oxys. It's like how you feel.
Yeah.
That, you know, on
rehab
the lake.
energy.
Rehab,
and a lot of the people out on the lake in Kelowna most
still
likely
clown.
have had perhaps some kind of
I mean, it's still
substance
clown.
abuse issues
I'm
in
not
their life.
I mean, and this is, I'm giving it credit. I'm giving the clown genre is my genre. So I'm saying it's in my genre.
Well, 100%. I'm definitely a clown artist. But, I mean, those acts you all mentioned are definitely all clown.
Yeah.
Full
Well, I
clown.
mean, you wanted to do a deep dive into the clown genre in the 90s and 2000s.
When that was, you know, we've had a lot of, you and I both have had so many incredible, not to, you know,
revelations.
Feel ourselves, just kind of lightning striking moments.
Yeah, kind of the like apple falling from the tree, or like
Benjamin
Franklin
flying the kite.
Yeah, exactly.
Isaac Newton with the apple.
Yeah, or some shit. Like
Johnny
someone in a
Payne
bath.
with the Lord of the Rings, Beatles, Peter Jackson comparison.
Exactly.
You know, you with the Father, Son, Holy Ghost. You know, that was big.
Mike Love Stamos, Sublime.
But I remember when I woke up hungover, I don't know, back around episode, who knows, 66 or something.
66
and I realized, I was like, 90s is when the clown genre really took off. And basically it took over all, there was basically no pirate, no pagan, no pilgrim left.
Yeah, kind
and
of
the clowns,
like a monostate.
Here come the jesters, 1, 2, 3. It was that kind of thing. And they just took over. And I mean, I just went down the list. I was sitting there in my jockeys just going, Were
you wearing your special socks?
No, I wasn't, because I certainly
ones?
wasn't running that morning. I was using all my brain power. Yeah, and, you know, so I just want to, like, kind of figure out what the hell was going on in the 90s.
Yeah.
Like, why was clown so big? Why did all the bands feel the need to be so goofy
Yeah.
and to blend genres, to dress goofy, to have weird like personnel in the group, like weird instrumentation.
Yeah. Oh, you're thinking.
Where did it all come from?
You're thinking like of like Rocket from the Crypt or something?
No, that's more kind of ska clown.
Okay. Yeah.
No, rockabilly clown.
Rockabilly
But
clown. Yeah.
clown nonetheless. No, man. I'm talking like, you know,
Mudvayne.
everything from Sublime to Foo Fighters to
Foo Fighters
to,
are clown in their videos.
What, they're throwing Mentos around and stuff like that.
Shit like that. Yeah, kind of trying to just like kind of they're like kind of aping Wayne's World SNL kind of vibes.
Sugar
I think.
Ray, you know.
Yes.
Even look, I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find.
Well,
I
we
think
can
have
just
a-
go through the list a little bit here.
Yeah, because I'd like to. We have a great soundbite. I'm gonna just post that actually.
Post it for this
tomorrow.
episode. I think if we can get into a kind of less work, more like bringing up the classic bits.
Well, we did a lot of good work back in the day, so you know the way I
Exactly.
see it, why do it again? you know?
Exactly.
But oh yeah, here's some clowns.
Realized that the 90s was the decade where clown music really took off.
It's like word for word. Like James, what are we? Okay, before I do this, I'm just like having this meltdown.
Yeah,
moment
you're,
where I
you're
realize
living in
I
a Jason Bourne.
My life has not at all changed. And okay,
Well, let's
okay.
just. I want to hear this whole bit.
Okay, here we
now.
go.
That the 90s was the decade where clown music really took off. Like I figured it out. I was blown away, and I started thinking of bands, and they just kept coming. Okay, so we got Clown, Beach Boys, Doors.
Yeah, they started clown.
Yeah, Ween, Clown. You know, Weezer,
Clown. Okay.
Beck. I thought kind of
think he's a
clown.
clown.
Little
Yeah,
bit.
he's a
You know
clown,
what I mean?
yeah.
Green Day,
Clown.
Foo Fighters, big time clown.
Major clown
Yeah.
energy, yeah.
Cake. Remember
Clown, yeah.
Cake?
Oh, yeah. Like, that's a big clown band.
Presidents of the United States of
Huge,
America.
Yeah, massive clown band.
So clown, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
And then finally, Offspring.
Big clowns.
Pretty fly for a white guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So there you
so
go.
there you
Those are
go.
some of the top tier clown groups of the 90s.
And what we-
Weezer? I mean,
Yeah.
give me a break.
I mean, these days they're like kind of pastiche clown. They're like being clowns, but like they're trying to be clown, but they're still clowns. It's kind of how Liam Gallagher does his own voice. in
Well,
this kind of
you know what
feedback
I s-
loop.
oh, yeah. And you know what I always say, James?
Oh, 100%.
Once you go clown, you can't go back down. You know?
You're
That's how
saying
it-
you're down for the clown.
Down with the sickness, maybe.
Well, didn't we say that Insane Clown Posse aren't clown?
Well,
at
that's
one
like
point?
more diseased clown.
Oh yeah, that's
kind
the
of
mud
like-
vein. Yeah, that's a different.
Yeah, like all those bands where it's like the clown, infected clown is inside you vibe.
yeah, exactly.
But
it's different.
no, once you're a clown group, you can
Yeah.
never not be clown. No matter what you do.
and I
There's no
believe-
transitioning out of clown.
Okay.
Not at all. Never. You can't. Even Beach Boys, always clown.
Yeah,
They
Brian
never were not
instilled it.
clown. The Doors just got more and more clown.
Well, we were gonna, you brought this up, and I wish this was, this had been something that was kind of, well, I mean, it exists. I just need to timestamp it. But you texted me quite recently, and maybe you were just kind of harking on an old point I made, or you kind of felt like you came up with it too. But like I'd said a long time ago that the origins of clown, as far as I can see, are the Alabama song by The Doors.
Right.
Like
oh no, yeah,
the
that's
Whiskey
your take.
Bar song,
That's
which is
your take,
actually like
yeah.
a Bertold Brecht song or something. You know, like it's like,
yeah.
but that is to me the
Clown
national,
national
anthem.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
That's definitely yours, but I heard it on the radio the other day and just thought it's
demented.
it's the first true clown song.
I think it is.
Yeah. Yeah, and because as we know, circus is also it goes both ways. Circus can also be pilgrim. If it's like a band,
Yeah, if it-
W.S.
yeah.
Walcott traveling medicine show,
Or even like Grateful Dead.
yeah, that circus can be either Pilgrim or Clown.
Well, American Carnival energy.
yeah, exactly.
is-
But you
is
know, I
Pilgrim.
consider that a bit circus.
Yeah, but circus is also like Carnival is really gothic. It's like pastoral. It's like
Carnival. What did I
circus. American
What's a circus genre?
American no, I think you bring up a good point. The American traveling carnival like is very like Cormac McCarthy. It's like it's
Yeah.
Pilgrim gothic like energy. Steinbeckian, you may
Yeah.
say even.
Elixirs
Oregon Trail.
and things like that.
Yeah, tinctures, elixirs,
Yeah.
freak shows.
Gather around. Yeah, bearded
Yeah,
lady. That
exactly
kind of thing.
that kind of stuff. We got a bear on like a ball. and
That's
he's
more
juggling.
Pilgrim to me.
That's more Pilgrim. Circus energy
Circus. Yeah.
is more kind of
Clown,
clown, I think. So
Yeah.
but I mean, and also,
But there's there's a lot of that.
and
You're right.
and also, it's worth remembering here. And I'll spend the next 6 months just dissecting these genres. It was Pilgrim, Pagan, Pirate originally, so it gets really
Yeah.
complicated. Clown being a
Well, clown-
subgenre of pirate.
I think what we realized in the end was that clown was its own genre. Like
Yeah.
that it's too powerful to not acknowledge.
Yeah,
You know? That
Like, it-
you know,
it's
Paul
supplanted
McCartney is a big
pirate.
originator of clown.
Yeah.
With a lot of those goofy tunes he did.
100%.
Maxwell Silver Hammer, Obla Di Obla Da. These are
Yeah.
carnival tunes, man.
Yeah.
You know
Martha,
what I mean?
my dear, I think you were gonna say Rocky
Yeah.
Raccoon,
Yeah, Rocky Raccoon, very much.
traveling.
That's more
Circus.
carnival. Yeah, Pilgrim.
you
Carnival.
think it's more carnival?
Pilgrim Carnival. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
And I think I was trying to look for a word about 2 years ago when we were talking about this, that someone needs to develop some kind of Venn diagram.
I know. I mean, we can't even get it together. Can I just say right now, I've got a ranking sheet. Alex has designed it. It's done.
Yeah.
Once you reset
Yeah.
the patrons,
Yeah.
then I'll send it because then maybe I
Nice.
want. Now I know we talked. It wasn't. It's just going to be. You know what? I'm going to save this for Sunday.
Yeah,
And just
exactly.
tell the patrons about it.
Yeah,
because,
that's right.
But let me tell you, Wednesday, people,
Yeah.
that if you do care to join our Patreon, there's going to be a gift coming to you.
A radical good faith gesture.
Yeah, a good faith gesture.
You know, self-help and self-actualization. And we're going to kind of give you a radical self-care gift in a ranking sheet. Yeah, exactly.
It might just be more of a, but it looks nice, but it's something
really
that
nice.
it might be more of a printable kind of a baseball scoring sheet system.
Oh, that sounds
Ki-
good. Just
kind of
hanging out with
vibe.
your old man. Imagine this. You're hanging out at Christmas with your
Yeah,
old man.
exactly. Print off
right?
a few for the whole family.
And
That's
you're
what
there
yeah.
and you're hanging out and they say, let's play that game where you like, let's play Mr. Bobblehead, or like when we like, let's stick
Oh, yeah.
words to our fucking head
Sure.
and drink and like, you know, figure out who which one of us is Nelson Mandela.
Yeah.
Like, but now you can say, you know what, Dad? Like, I don't want to do that, but I got another game for the family. It's better. We're going to take out these sheets and we're going to determine once and for all whether Ray Davies is a better rock and roll star than Harry Nilsson. And at first, people will be like, I don't know. That sounds boring. But listen, once they get going, as you know, with the eyewall method.
I just thought of something really big, a new way to play. Because, you know, I thought about the dry erase thing, but it's only one for you, and it's a very solo game. Think about this.
Okay.
Everyone's mom and dad
Hungry
has
Hippos.
Everyone's mom and dad has a printer.
Yeah.
You know,
It's a thing that it's like microwaves.
you got an old ink bubble jet in the corner.
Nice.
So you print off a bunch for the family. Here's what you do. You sit around, you pick an artist. Here's the game at Christmas or whatever. You know,
Thanksgiving
sure,
if you're in America.
Ray Davies, Frank Sinatra, whoever you want.
Sinatra, probably.
And
Elvis.
Nat King Cole. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then everybody ranked. We go through the categories: technical ability, hangability. Everybody puts their number. Don't discuss it. Then when you finish, you go around. Everybody says their score, and you kind of debate it. You know,
Yeah.
that's
Just
one
want
way
you-
you can play.
Want you to know that Let me look at this. That Frank Sinatra was. Look at this, for example. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Let's see when.
That seems odd.
No, I guess so he's not in it, but he's in it as like an influencer. There's like a different thing that he gets to
Oh my
be
god,
in
dude!
it. He gets to be in it.
I can't even get into this now. We got to deal with this.
I think
next
this
episode.
is yeah.
It's too much.
I mean, I'm looking. There's a website here, Future Rock Legends. Frank Sinatra. This is a website designed just to talk about people who haven't or have been. This is called. Oh no, this. Oh my god. We can end with this. This website is called Future Rock Legends, and it's a website about people who aren't in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame yet, but whether they've been considered where they're at. So it says Frank Sinatra. He's been eligible since 1965. So I'm assuming that's when the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was created.
Okay.
Previously considered, no. Kennedy Center honoree since 1983, which I guess helps you get in. Inducted into the Rock Hall Revisited in 1994 and ranked number 13 in the Influences pre-rock era category.
Oh my god, this is deep, dude.
Yeah. And then we've got all his albums, but nothing's... Okay, comments. We've got a lot of people talking here. Yesterday, there's a guy, 56 comments so far on the topic of Frank being inducted. Yesterday, this is the first one, by Cheese Crop. Yesterday, I saw Frank's name voted on, and I was stunned and disgusted to realize he wasn't even in here. Somebody has to start a post when it comes to Frank, so I'm going to do it. Had the hole not messed up by sticking everyone in there and their aunt in this place, there'd be no need for consideration. Innovation and influence, if you have to ask on this, once again, if you have to ask on this. And then this guy goes to make an actual rock case for Frank here. Interesting.
This sounds like the best new website we could have found.
Future Rock Legends.
Bookmark that one, buddy.
Listen, I don't use my computer enough to even worry about it. I'm gonna just leave it right up there. We'll tackle this on Sunday.
Well, I'm gonna go have some dinner.
Me too. I got a Greek salad going. I'm gonna make a little mejadra. I've been soaking my lentils. I'm good to go.
I love that.
Have a great rest of your evening, pal. Speak to you soon.
You too, buddy. Thanks a lot.